has, but it has my Rebbe used to always tell us. He was, his name was Hanach Leibowitz. He was the Reshiva of my yeshiva in Chavetz Chaim. He used to always tell us a line that, over the years, I've seen this. It's the more a person goes, if you see something for the first time, many times it could get very, you're like, oh my gosh, wow, that's like, gee, my head's flipping over here. But if a person starts going over things a few times, and even more than a few, you start getting real clarity in your mind, it becomes much more that it's like, wow, I got this. My Rishiva used to say a line that, what does it mean to really, when a person really feels like every aspect is learning, but a person should try to get themselves to the level that if somebody would wake you up, this is a line he's always quoted, if someone would wake you up at 2 or 3 in the morning, you would be, and they would ask you a question, you would be right there. You know what that means?
You know it really well.
I'll tell you what.
I'll put a better lock on the door.
I used to tell that sometimes to my kids and my students. I say, I'm going to call your house, guys, at 2, 3 in the morning. They would say, okay, Reb. But you know what that means? I think we can all appreciate it to some, sometimes you think, wow, that's, I don't know, to such a degree. But we can all appreciate it to some because we've all had times, whether it be Talmud, I'm not saying Talmud, let's say, or something, anything in our life that we were doing. You ever have something that you really worked on really hard? Right? We've all had something like that, right? That you really put in a lot of effort, a lot of sweat, a lot of time, a lot of energy. You know it well, and I'm sure for you guys as lawyers, right? When you have a case that you really, right, you know it inside and outside, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure there are many times that if I would wake you up at 2, 3 in the morning, you have a case that you're right there, right? Because you've worked on that. You've put in every... Right. So you can appreciate it, right? So if that's... You used to say that's what when a person... And I'm when we used to work on things for a while, whatever it is, when a person's really like... you really get to that feeling that you're walking in the store and like you remember the steps of the Gemara and you're thinking that it's like it's a wild level. It's not an easy but it's a beautiful level. A person really feels like, wow, that's pretty neat. Anyway, so the bottom line is you shouldn't get bought because it is confusing. But the more and more a person if you go over things and it becomes less and less, becomes more and more familiar.